Hello everyone and welcome back to the FPL Engine YouTube channel. Now in today's video I'm going to be talking you through how my game week 3 went and also a little look at my game week 4 transfer plans. Now I want to start off by saying apologies for obviously the lack of uploads recently. I have just been really busy and I've not had the time to film and obviously edit, but I'm hoping now I should have a bit more of a clearer schedule. I should be able to get these videos out for you guys again. It was a much needed break though from obviously FPL. Really, it's been a rough start to the season, we can say, and obviously pre-season was very tiring making videos and stuff. So I've had a little break. Well, I won't call it a break. I've obviously been really busy, but yeah, a little break from FPL really. But anyway, we're back now, so let's get straight into my game week 3 team review. So as you can see, it is a big green arrow. I would say game week 3, there's definitely issues, but I would say overall, I'm quite happy with how it went. I gained around 2 mil in rank to take me to 1.5 mil in the world. Obviously, it's not where I want to be, but it's definitely in a way better position than where I was. So I am quite happy and I'm quite fine with that. I also have 3 million in the bank, so that does give me quite a lot to work with. But yeah, anyways, let's just get into it. Obviously, Robert Sanchez in goal with a clean sheet, another 6-pointer. I'm very happy with him so far, really. I think Cucurella is definitely a better Chelsea defender, but for 5 mil, Robert Sanchez has definitely delivered so far. He's been one of the more consistent defenders. So yeah, I'm definitely fine with him for now if he can keep playing like that. One of the issues that I do want to talk through is Nico Williams. Now, knowing that Nottingham Forest have just signed 2 left backs, it's sort of telling me that Nico Williams may not be the starting left back long term. Now, if he's coming off in sort of the 60th, 70th minute, that's fine, because as long as he's making it to 60, he's gonna hopefully get them clean sheet points. Because the thing is, obviously in the West Ham game, if he made it to 70 minutes and then he got subbed off, I would have banked the clean sheet and been well happy with that. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It's a pretty poor display from Forest again at the end there. Yeah, I really did think I was going to be getting that clean sheet, but then obviously it did go wrong. But oh well, I think the Forest defensive coverage wasn't a wrong pick at the start of the season, but it definitely wasn't a good one. Pedro Porro obviously getting the DEFCON. I'm very happy with him so far. I do think he could be a bit overpriced, obviously with Xavi Simons now joining. Set pieces could get taken off him, but for me, it's just a matter of time until he gets not a clean sheet, sorry, a goal or an assist. It's a matter of time until he gets some sort of attack in return. So hopefully he could just do that soon. That would be lovely. And hopefully it's not Mickey van der Ven who gets one first, because like a lot of you, that will probably kill my rank. Daniel Munoz. Now, obviously I did bring him in this week. There was a massive worry going into the last game against Aston Villa away when I'd just seen Juve got an assist and a clean sheet. Now that was terrible for me, because obviously I sold him for Daniel Munoz, so it put me in a really difficult position where I'd sold him and I'd kept the person he'd beaten 3-0. Now if Daniel Munoz did nothing, it wouldn't have been great, but luckily Daniel Munoz did come to the rescue. He got a 9-pointer. He hit DEFCON. He should have had an assist. He was absolutely brilliant in that game. He was basically playing right wing. So yeah, going into Sunderland at home, I am very happy with him. And I'm even more happy now they've kept Marguehi. Mohamed Salah, sorry, there is an error there. It should say 3 points because he did get the clean sheet point. It wouldn't have really affected me, to be fair, 1 point. But yeah, just not a great display from Salah. I don't think I heard his name all game when I was watching it. But yeah, as I've said from the start of the season, I don't think Salah will have a season like he had last year, but he's just so consistent. I think I would rather own him than Erling Haaland at the moment, especially with the way Manchester City are playing. It really wouldn't surprise me if Haaland starts blanking again. Ismail Assar, there's another issue in him, obviously coming off injured. It's annoying. It's really annoying, because I think he is a great pick. I think he's a great value for money, and yeah, it's just irritating because obviously he got the goal. He should have had another goal, which would have been a Munoz assist, and it was all going well, and then obviously he gets pulled off the pitch. But, I think that is going to be the issue with this Palace team this season, just because of Europe. They have so many games. They've played so many games already. On the third game of the Premier League, they're all tired. And yeah, they got the 3-0 win. They did what they had to do, but you can see some of the players just can't do it. They're not used to that amount of games, and they should be able to, get some rest, maybe in the easier Conference League games, maybe in the Cup games. And Sarr has had to play every single minute so far. So, yeah, it's something like that was always going to happen with a Palace player. Obviously, Adam Wharton as well. So, are they going to be as strong? I don't know. Realistically, it was either Munoz and Sarr or Munoz and Mateta I was going to go for. I still think I made the right choice going for Munoz and Sarr, but yeah, it's just very unfortunate. Morgan Rogers obviously having another stinker. We will talk on what I'm going to do with him in a bit, because him and Watkins just is not working. Bruno Fernandes, I was at that game, so getting the 3 points, and obviously that penalty in the last minute when he scored that just made the 3 points even better, knowing that my FPL captain has returned in the last minute once again. I think another thing on Bruno Fernandes captain, I think owners of Bruno Fernandes bought him, well, not bought him, they put him in game week 1 to captain in game week 3, and I think sometimes in FPL you just have to stick to your plans. You can say it's lucky, you can say it's just luck. We have Bruno Fernandes for the reason of penalties. He's a good penalty taker. We were unlucky against Fulham. We have him for DEFCON. He's done both of them things, even playing from deep. If he scored that penalty versus Fulham, he would have got an unbelievable amount of points so far as well. Tijani Reinders with the blank. Yeah, to be honest, I don't think he had a bad game. I just think Manchester City just do not look on it, really, and it's not brilliant, but he did get another 90 minutes, so hopefully he can keep getting 90 and hopefully get them attacking returns once again. Ollie Watkins, again, I've been through him briefly, just really, really isn't looking like a great pick. I don't know what's going on with Aston Villa, but they have looked dreadful, so I am going to have to do something with one of them at some point, but they have Sunderland in game week 5, so it's a really difficult move. And it's really difficult to decide if you want to keep them for the good fixtures or just bin one of them or even bin both. João Pedro getting the 9-pointer. I was quite annoyed he didn't take the pen. I really did think he was going to take the pen, but yeah, it's not the end of the world. He still got his goal. There was a little knock he had on international break, so if João Pedro's out as well, which I don't think he will be, I think he'll be all right, but if he's out as well, that puts my team in a very, very difficult position. I guess one positive, if João Pedro, was out, is Mark Gue. He would most likely start if that was the case. I highly doubt João Pedro will be out, by the way. Let's just make that clear now. But if he was, Mark Gue, I would probably end up just starting and taking the risk because, yeah, he's back at Chelsea now. Obviously, he got 1 point this week for, just coming off the bench for Sunderland. It's a shame he didn't stay at Sunderland because I think he looked like a way better asset there. And, he is probably going to be a sell in the near future. But, with the other issues around my team, I don't know if I'll see myself doing it this week. And, yeah, the rest of the bench just not really doing much, which I'm completely fine with that. I think I made all the right decisions on who to play. Maybe, obviously, Anderson over Williams would have been better. But, yeah, 2-point swing, it's not the end of the world. Moving on to my transfer plans for the upcoming week. As you can see, it is looking likely I am going to be selling Ismaila Sarr, unless he makes some sort of miraculous recovery, which I don't think he will. It's looking like he is going to be, unfortunately, out for 4 to 8 weeks. So I think what I'm going to do is him to Semenyo, and I am planning for a bench boost in game week 5, and it would leave me the right amount of money to do Mark Gue to Strand Larsen in game week 5. So that gives me a Leeds at home fixture for my bench boost. Obviously, as I mentioned before, another worry I have, though, is Nico Williams, unfortunately. So what happens with him could also change transfers. I'd say not this week because I'm not playing him this week anyway, but next week that could cause me into taking a hit. I would like to do Watkins to Gyökeres. I really would. I would like to get rid of one of them Villa attackers, but I just feel like I can't now. unfortunately. And I think Gyökeres will score versus Forest. I think that could be the game where he, a lot of FPL managers realise him and realise they want him in their team. And then City at home, it's looking to be quite a nice fixture at the moment. So yeah, I think Gyökeres could go big in both of them games, unfortunately, as a non-owner. And Watkins to Gyökeres for a -4 could be likely. I think the most likely is definitely just Sarr to Semenyo, but there's also Rodgers to someone like a Kudus, even a Lucas Paquetá. There's definitely a few midfielders, but ideally I'd rather keep Watkins and sell Rodgers, but there's honestly no one I like more than Rodgers at the moment. I mean, the most obvious choice would be to go to Grealish, but again, I don't really like any of these midfielders around that price range. So I think the smart decision is just to stick with Rodgers for now, and we can reassess in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, with Villa just obviously being terrible, it's not been fun. But signing the players they did in summer, you can hope that their attack's going to get a bit better. The only issue is, benching. I don't think Watkins or Rodgers will get benched, but if they do, I think that would be the final straw with them in my team. So it's looking like it's just going to be Sarr to Semenyo, and that's it. I really don't want to take hits. I really don't want to spend points. So if I can avoid doing that, I will. Finally, moving on to my team selection for game week 4. As you can see, I'm sticking with Robert Sanchez in goal. I'm very happy with the Chelsea defence so far. I think they've been very consistent. Do I expect him to keep a clean sheet at Brentford? Not really. Brentford like to score at home, I think they're very good at home, so you don't know. You really don't know. I hope he does, but I think Brentford might just get a goal. Joachim Andersen, Leeds at home is definitely a good fixture. Leeds are definitely better when they're at home. As we can see, they are not great away. So I think that's a great fixture for him. He's less likely to get DEFCON, but I think a clean sheet is hopefully very, very likely. Pedro Porro, I am hoping he can finally come away with an attacking return. He obviously, as I've said already, he will probably be on less set pieces now. But yeah, West Ham away, you don't really know what to expect because obviously both the clubs need the win. West Ham really need it because they're only on 3 points. Tottenham need it because they obviously lost points to Bournemouth last week. So both teams definitely need the win. I think it could be a very interesting game. Kudus going back to his old club. And I do have a weird feeling he's going to score. As a non-owner, if he does, it's really, really not going to be great for my rank because, so many people own him. But yeah, I do have a feeling he might score in that game. Daniel Munoz versus Sunderland at home. I think Yeremy Pino looks really, really good. And them two linking up on that right side definitely could be great. Ismaila Sarr being out, could that get rid of his attacking threat, his assist potential? Yes, definitely. But I think with Jean-Philippe Mateta and Palace definitely have a lot of quality. I think, he can definitely still get them attacking returns, and clean sheet, he could definitely get that. And, DEFCON is a bit less likely again because it's an easy fixture, but no one expected him to get it last week. They played way better than Villa and he got it. So you never know. I think he's a great pick. On the bench, the alternative to Robert Sanchez is Martin Dubravka, obviously with Liverpool at home, so he's definitely not getting played. Nico Williams against Arsenal away, and also a Stev with Liverpool at home, so all terrible fixtures. And Postecoglou has been confirmed at the time of recording as the new Nottingham Forest manager. Do I think that'll affect it? They may get a manager bounce, but I don't know. Again, you're going to have to wait and see. Will Nico Williams still get good minutes? Again, you don't know, so I wouldn't be picking up any Forest players at the moment, to be honest. But they do have a good fixture run, so it does depend. Looking into the midfield, as you can see, Mohamed Salah is the very obvious captain. I don't think I have another one in my squad, to be honest, that I could captain. I think he's basically the only option. Ismaila Sarr's in there for now. I am going to wait until we get more news, but I highly, highly doubt he'll be there going into the game week 4 deadline. It is looking like his injury isn't going to be a good one. It's looking like it's going to be 4 to 8 weeks. So he's probably going to be sold. Morgan Rogers in there. Really, really hoping he can finally get an attacking return. Bruno Fernandes versus Manchester City and Tijjani Reinders versus Manchester United. So To be honest, obviously I want United to win. Obviously I want Bruno Fernandes to score. But if it's City, please, let's just all hope it's Tijani Reinders and not Erling Haaland, because then the game week generally couldn't go worse. Finally, moving on to the attack. As you can see, you may think it looks a bit dodgy, but honestly, I'm quite happy with it. João Pedro being the highest scoring FPL player so far. He's been really living up to the ownership. Obviously, there were the doubts. There were the thoughts he might go down in price after poor performances. And, after the first week, I was definitely scared of that. But he's definitely done very, very well. If he took that pen over Enzo Fernandez, it would have been even better. Ollie Watkins really does need a goal. If you actually look at his data, it's not been that bad. And I think a goal's coming. And I am really, really hoping it's going to be, this week in the next game, because that will help him. It'll help my team. It'll help everything, really. So let's just hope he can do that. Mark Yu on the bench. Not great, he's gone back to Chelsea, but if you look at the bright side, if he ends up, coming off the bench, getting a goal, if he starts for Chelsea, I can use a 4.4 mil player in my bench boost. And not just in my bench boost, I may have the chance to start a 4.4 mil player. And then, he can see massive, massive price rises if that happened. But yeah, I highly doubt that'll happen. I can't really see a 4.4 mil striker starting for one of the best teams in the league. But as I said, if it happens, I'll be a very happy man. Anyways, that's it for now. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. And I will see you most likely on Thursday or Friday for my final team selection video, where I will go into a bit more depth and, show the transfers I will confirm, lock in and be making.